Hello everybody, my name is Amanda and welcome back to another video, and today I want to talk about the autumn because I'm going to do a master's in children's literature, something that I'm very passionate about, but I feel very out of my depth in terms of where I'm going, but also in terms of knowledge within that field. I have studied one course in children's literature and I have a degree in English literature from Glasgow University, but I still feel like there's so much that I don't know. So what I want to talk about today is basically what I've done and what I can and will continue to do to brush up on my knowledge and just to kind of make me feel a bit more secure and prepared knowledge-wise for the autumn. I think that I, like a lot of you, have had a lot of extra time this summer to brush up on things but also learn completely new things, and I hope that this video can spark some ideas of where to find these resources for refreshing or relearning or just learning for the first time something new that might help you feel a little bit more prepared for the autumn. So I know the summer is coming up to a close and this might not be super applicable to everyone, but one thing that I did just a couple of weeks back was to do a summer course. So the specific course that I did was a course on children's literature through Trinity College Dublin, and one of the reasons why I was able to do that was because it was put online exclusively for this year, because previously it's been in person. But even though these are really strange times, that means that a lot of sources are available online instead, such as summer courses, such as conferences or talks that will be broadcasted online instead. So I think it's a great opportunity to take advantage of that. Sometimes it will cost a little bit to get all of these resources because people are still putting time and effort into creating them. But they have different formats, and there are discussion panels and there are PowerPoints put together or lectures. There's so many things that people are still creating for us to learn and take part of. So I think regardless of what subject you're doing, I'm sure there are courses and material available out there. And on that same vein, I think it's also really important to value sources like YouTube, like Wikipedia, if it comes to learning something new or brushing up on knowledge, because you have such wonderful YouTube channels like Crash Course, like Khan Academy, which is also a separate website in itself, that will teach you the basics but also the more advanced stuff about biology or history, astrophysics. And if you're starting something that you feel a little bit insecure about, looking to those sources and reading up on them I think is really quite valuable in order to kind of feel more at ease, even though you might not understand it fully until you get taught it at university. It won't be the first time you hear about it. Another thing that you could do now when it's summer and you have a lot more time is to read up on the classics. If you don't know what the course will look like or what you will be required to read, I think it's a good idea to kind of look into the field that you're going into and saying, okay, what are the key texts or key people that have shaped this field? And then going to either Wikipedia, but also maybe reading that Shakespeare play that you haven't read, or the Dickens novel that you've put off, or Jane Austen, Charlotte Bronte if it's literature, or even looking at key people like Roland Barthes or Jacques Derrida, for instance, and kind of getting an idea of how this field has grown and where it's going, because today we have really important new figures but they all kind of draw on ideas that have become key texts within the genre. And that's obviously not only true for literature, because that's what I know, but there are key theories and questions that are pertinent to every field. So I think kind of getting a grasp on how the trajectory of the field has been looking will give you such an advantage for the autumn. So I think that kind of these ideas of looking to where the field is going, what branches of the field is available, is really valuable, both for kind of getting a knowledge of the field but also for giving yourself an idea of what you might want to do with this degree. Because looking into what an architect can do with their degree is not only drawing houses, but it's also about compact living or engineering or city planning, and then you get an idea of what you might want to or what you can do with your degree. And then jumping off from that, I guess, is if you want to read the more specific things that will be on the course, there is a high value in emailing the convener, asking if there are any reading lists available or if the material has been put together yet, so then that you can kind of read up on things beforehand and then also read around those topics. So let's say that you're going to read Hard Times by Charles Dickens. You can read that book beforehand, but you can also read maybe other Dickens material, or read about Dickens, or read about the book, or what people have said about it. You not only save yourself a lot of work for the autumn when you'll have less time to do it, but you will also, when you kind of encounter these ideas again, you'll feel a lot more familiar. However, if you don't feel stressed at all, or if this whole thing makes you feel stressed, then make sure that you take the summer to do as little as possible, because that's also really valuable. It's up to each and every one of us to acknowledge how we can prepare ourselves best for the autumn. And if that's learning more so you feel more prepared, that's really great. But if that's taking a step back and making sure that you kind of build up this motivation and recharge your batteries, then that's equally valuable. So just because I feel like I'm going into something that's a little bit out of my depth and I don't like feeling that way, I'm gonna try and kind of at least steer myself in the right path. But if you just want to relax over the summer before uni starts, then that's the right thing to do as well. So that was kind of all that I had to share with you guys, and I hope that you found it somewhat helpful, and I hope you all stay safe out there, and I'll see all of you guys in my next video. Bye.